All right, recording started. Welcome everyone to the Palace. Today we have the team from Encounter. We have Luka, we have Aaron, we have GP. Guys, super nice having you. Again, I want I want to apologize again for not having you yesterday, but I'm glad we're able to connect today. So was super looking forward to this one. If you can give us a little bit of an introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and tell us a little bit about the project.
Yeah, sure thing. I'll first start with myself. So my name is Luka. I've been a software engineer for about 7 years. Um, and I first started to get into the DeFi space about 2 years ago. Um, I've followed crypto for quite some time before that, but I didn't really start getting into the development side of things till about then. When I started seeing everything about DeFi and really now, GameFi, play to earn, all those, cool little buzzwords that everyone's throwing around, I started to see that there was really a need for, doing something right, something sustainable in the space, and kind of being able to merge the two together, both DeFi and GameFi, into one, or at least taking the best aspects of both and kind of combining them. And so after that, I've been a gamer for my entire life basically, and I wanted to really dive into the crypto space, um, and I started to look at other projects out there. I saw you know all these other play to earn projects or DeFi projects, and the one thing that I think a lot of people always mentioned was like the sustainability, right? Like how money is actually being funneled into the project and back out to the to the holders. Um, so that's kind of really where I think the idea of Encounter really started. Once I started noticing those trends. Um, so yeah, luckily I have the software engineering background that I needed to kind of build um, this company really up. And I have some really great team members as well along with me. As you mentioned before, I have JP and Aaron in here. Um, Aaron is our chief brand officer, and John is our chief design officer. So I'm just going to quickly let them kind of briefly introduce themselves, and then after that, I'll really dive into what Encounter is really all about. So, Aaron, if you kind of want to introduce yourself first, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll introduce myself before John. I'm okay with that. His voice is gonna lull everybody. Um, so I appreciate you guys having me. First off, like Lucas said, I'm the chief brand officer, which puts my role at you know really pushing the vision of the brand and of the marketing and the story that we want to tell with Encounter. I've been in marketing for 17 years, product marketing first. Before that was web design, full service digital marketing agency, and most recently I was involved with esports on the gaming side. I had an esports organization called Rebel Esports. We partnered with Activision Blizzard on the CDL launch to be the only franchise affiliate team. We partnered with Microsoft for the Gears of War, and just before I left, we had partnered with um, Apex Legends for their ALGS Pro Series. And my involvement in the crypto space has not been anywhere near the same level of involvement as the rest of the team, but I've been watching and involved in the crypto space for 2 to 3 years now. And Encounter, just it's a for me it's a really awesome project. It solves a lot of problems that I don't think people realize are in the ecosystem. Um, and I'm just excited to be able to tell the story of all of that as we build Encounter and merge this GameFi DeFi world together.
Perfect.
Cool.
Well said.
Cool stuff. Thank you.
We'll go into John. Yeah, I already see you unmuted your mic.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having us. My name's JP, or I go by either JP or John, whichever one works. Yeah. So I am the CDO for ENCTR, or Chief Design Officer. I've been a graphic designer, digital designer for about 7-8 years now, and I've like Luka, I've been a gamer my whole life. Growing up, I was really involved in competitive gaming in CS:GO and League of Legends, taking those games pretty seriously throughout high school, things like that. So I haven't started working really in the Web3 space till maybe 2 years ago. And like Lucas said, it's really for us it's taking that gaming passion, growing up and seeing all the potentials and innovations in the Web3 space and really combining the two in a way that's sustainable and building a project with longevity. And it's certainly not an easy task by any means. So my sort of role in the whole thing is working on all the visual stuff that the community sees, such as the website and a lot of the social media graphics and the fun part about working on a project like this is you get to for instance we have the ENCTR brand that we're building up, and Aaron's played a huge part in guiding that brand in the right direction. But the fun part is I get to work on UI design, UX design for our application, working on a lot of the website content, and it's really combining that educational content with content that's also engaging as well. And we have since we started this thing, it's been all about transparency through and through. And so, we're working on we're working on sort of building a story behind the project, getting people involved and engaged in that process. So that's kind of what I do. I take the vision of the project and the utility behind the project and convert that into cool content for people to enjoy. So it's a little bit about me.
Fantastic. Yeah, and we also have 2 other members that are part of our team. We have our Chief Technology Officer. His name is Ivan. He's been a software engineer for about 10 years. He has a master's in machine learning. He's worked for Amazon and previously worked for a cyber security company in the audio space, like telephone space. So, and then we also have Peter. Peter is our lead application engineer. So we are 5 people strong, and it's been fantastic. We have a great team. I'm just really excited that everyone on our team really has a different skill set that really complements everyone else on the team. So that being said, let me get into really what ENCTR is all about. So I mentioned previously, ENCTR started with these ideas that I was looking at the really the GameFi space specifically. I was seeing all these play to earn games coming out, massive potentials, and I don't know if any of you here have played one of these play to earn games, but most of them aren't really enjoyable. I think they focus mainly too hard on the monetary aspect and maybe less about the entertainment aspect of it all, which is fine. But what that really, when you look at why people go and start playing one of these games, is because first and foremost they want to make some money. And the issue with that is that a lot of these play to earn games, they don't have the foundation and sustainable model to keep them moving forward. Most of these play-to-earn games, these tokens are kind of minted out of thin air, and the value of it is really based on how many people are playing the game, and you maybe earn some money in the game, and it's passed. Really, you're kind of passing the bag down to the next person who's playing the game, and it's not really sustainable. Like I said, once people stop playing as much, then the people who are like the core foundation, maybe the people who really want to play the game and just like it for the entertainment aspect of it, maybe they don't earn as much as they used to, or if any at all. And then on the DeFi side of things, you start seeing all these tokens that come out with, really great staking rewards, high APYs, insane percentages, like something like 100,000% APY, right? And that's not a sustainable model. Like you can't have that hyperinflationary design for very long. Yeah, of course it works for a short time being, but will it work for a year? No, it's literally just not possible. So, but that DeFi side that gave me and my team an idea as well, is that we need to bring, or what we wanted to do is bring those tokenomics, those DeFi models in the space, and bring it over and merge it with the GameFi space. So what ENCTR really is, and I'm going to share my screen here in a moment, show you our site, and kind of go through it together. What ENCTR really is building a better GameFi platform that uses these DeFi mechanics that are sustainable. So ENCTR isn't making a game. We're not a game studio. What ENCTR does is we provide you this sustainable token model, and on top of that, we're building out what we call modules, these application modules on ENCTR. And one of the first modules that we're releasing with is Battlescape, and Battlescape is a pool-based betting system for esports. So if you are, interested in watching or following esports, and you want to make decentralized wagers, you can go and use Battlescape when that's out. Another module that we're creating is Arsenal, and Arsenal is a application where you'll be able to go and hook up your game account. Let's say, for the sake of just this discussion, you play Counter-Strike, and you're playing Counter-Strike, and you'll be able to hook up your account on ENCTR, and you'll be able to earn rewards based on earning specific achievements in game. So those are the two modules that we're kind of focusing on and making. So let me kind of go back, and I already see you've kind of pulled up our site. If you want to scroll up to the top there. Yeah, and just kind of go down and go to the revenue sharing part. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let me talk to you about what I call the 4 layers of ENCTR. So you may have heard these DeFi systems such as bonding or staking. So let me kind of just cover those first. ENCTR you can consider ENCTR a DAO-like token, where you have a treasury at the center, the ENCTR treasury there on the graphic there to the right. And then you have these modules that we're creating, such as Battlescape, Arsenal, Legions, and DeFi protocols such as yield farming, etc. All of these modules that we build and the way we utilize our treasury, it funnels more money back into the treasury. Therefore, when you purchase ENCTR and you stake ENCTR, that's how the funds are going back to the token holders. All right, we're not making money out of thin air. We're generating revenue through the software that we develop, and when people use that, we're taking cuts. Like for instance, with Battlescape, we'll take a 4% profit, and that'll funnel back into the treasury, which will then go back to all are holders who are staking Encounter. So that's kind of how the sustainable model works in a nutshell. So let me kind of go back to bonding and staking. So bonding is a new kind of system. Other projects have used bonding before, but bonding is really great because what it does is when you want to purchase Encounter, for instance, you have two options. You can purchase Encounter through a decentralized exchange, such as Uniswap, for instance, or you can buy it through us, through our treasury itself, and that's what we call a bond. So that's going to give you a discount on your Encounter. Let's say you have $100 and you want to buy Encounter. If you buy a bond through us, there's going to be discount every single time that there's a bond available. We don't provide a bond unless there is a discount. So at that time, the most optimal way for you to make even more money is to actually go ahead and buy a bond. Now, what happens when you buy a bond? A bond is kind of a promise that in 5 days or a specific maturation date, you're going to get your Encounter back, or you're going to actually get that Encounter that you bought the bond with. And that's all dealt through our smart contracts. So then what that does is buying the bond actually puts more money into the treasury to actually give out those staking rewards. So that's kind of another element to it. And that, all in all, the reason why we have bonding is so that Encounter owns its own liquidity. That's really the main purpose of of bonding, so that we can purchase all the liquidity available through users who want to buy Encounter. So that's kind of bonding. And now with staking, you probably have heard about staking. Staking is literally just, think of it as you're locking your tokens away for a specific amount of time so that you can earn rewards for doing so. And now with this whole model, how it comes into play is that it really starts with staking. So if you look to the right there, once you stake your coin, that's how you get the revenue from Battlescape, Arsenal, the DeFi protocols we're using, and Legions. All of that money gets funneled to Treasury and goes back to the stakeholders, the people who are actually staking Encounter.
Luka, you mentioned at first at the beginning that those projects with automatic staking and crazy APY are not sustainable. So that's not something that you're doing. But so this one will be everybody will have to stake themselves, right, through your website, I believe.
That's right. You'll have to stake it through the Encounter app.
Okay. And what is it the same thing, like if you guys did automatic staking, for example, that still wouldn't be sustainable, even though there's no like those crazy APY amounts that some projects are doing?
Yeah,
it wouldn't work either?
No, you see, the problem with automatic staking is that you really need to have the person, staking and locking away your tokens. It provides that layer of, not being able to sell their token. Like, that's really needed. These auto staking protocols, where you can just do whatever you want your tokens, buy and sell, it isn't sustainable. At least I haven't seen anyone do it sustainably so far. I'm constantly in the space looking for what people are doing, and I have yet to find one where auto staking really works very well.
Right, I just thought about it
but
because there's that aspect of not being able to sell, which auto staking you're able to do whatever you want all the time. So that's the difference there, right?
Exactly. But like I said, the
Okay.
incentives are there for you to stake.
Right.
So as long as the incentive is there, then staking is worth it, right?
Right,
Which is
absolutely.
where our revenue sharing model kind of comes into play.
Perfect. Sorry for cutting you
No,
off.
no,
I just
not
wanted
at
to
all.
ask
Hey, if you have any other questions, you can I don't mind. You can feel free to cut me off at any time.
Oh, cool stuff. I'm super intrigued by the rest. Keep going. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any other questions so far from what I said that
So
maybe we can dive into? Yeah.
understand the bond? And if so, like you have a great graphic here that kind of explains how things go from the treasury and you know how everything is going back to the holders. So you know, is this something that's already being done in the space, or that's kind of something that you guys came up with?
So, so with the bonding mechanism, no, we didn't come up with that. But for the revenue sharing model, I
Right.
haven't seen that. That's kind of something new, I would say.
The revenue sharing
Um,
model, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
exactly,
Cool.
the revenue sharing. Because the thing is, most of these projects, they're taking money from, you know, taxes, from it's money that's still in the crypto space, right? What
Right.
Encounter is trying to do is we're trying to build out Battlescape, Arsenal Legions, etc. These modules that are bringing people, yes, who are still in crypto, but also outside of crypto and putting money back in, right? Because we're not making money from thin air like all these projects are, right? That's where mostly when you have these high auto staking projects, where's the money come from? It's literally coming from taxes or just from you know thin air. People are just they're just the protocol is just minting tokens without anything backing them, um, and that's where Encounter's different. Money is coming from the usage and utility of the software that we're building,
Beautiful.
and that's how we can pay out um, the stakers with actual money that's backed by something.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, you can keep going where you were. Sorry, in the staking part.
Oh, no worries. I think I covered most of what I wanted to say about staking. Um, I think probably a lot of people here, you know, have heard of staking before. Um,
I
but
wanted to ask you, you know, the term DAO, right? It's
mhm,
still some.
yeah,
It's still something that um, projects, investors, everybody have their own kind of definition of what is a DAO, right? Um,
right,
some of them use the term DAO just to, you know, it kind of like a democracy term that, you know, investors have a say in what's going on with the project. Others use it, you know, as something a little bit more, um, you know, a little bit more, what do you call it, in the technology aspect of the project. What's a DAO for you?
yeah. No, it's a good question. So, and if you can see there, I said DAO. We said DAO like, and there's a reason for that. So you mentioned, you know, there are other projects, you know, throwing out that term DAO. What is a DAO? You know, DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. But, you know, the way a DAO can really exist right now is not in its true form, I would say, right? Because a DAO assumes that the people who are, you know, like holders, for instance, they can manipulate the protocol and the system as much as they want or like have full autonomy over it as long as they're, you know, having votes for how systems should work, right? But the issue with that is that if you have a vote for something, well, the core dev team is still going to have to be the ones to go ahead and implement that, right? If if people who are you know holders of a specific token uh, and they want you know something to change in the protocol, for instance, they'll have a vote and you know everyone will either pass or fail that vote, and if it gets passed, let's say it's something like we want to change the entire system to where we earn money from this way rather than that way. Well, who's going to go ahead and do that, right? A DAO still requires that the core dev team listens to the community and goes ahead and does it, right? So that's why I feel like we're not there yet in terms of technology where a true DAO can exist. And that's why I like to say DAO-like, because we're utilizing the same mechanics that some DAOs are using, such as the treasury mechanic and the governance aspect of it all, which are all included in Encounter. Like if you hold Encounter, you will be able to vote and help build us this community around it and how things will work. It's just that in the, like at this moment when we're you know kind of really building Encounter with these modules and things like that, it's still the core dev team who are going to have to go ahead and build it. But of course, Encounter has always been a community-based token, and the governance aspect of Encounter is going to be very important to us. So we want to hear your feedback. We want people to create new proposals of how things should work and where the direction we should be taking it. But of course, in the very beginning, it's important that the dev team are the ones to kind of go ahead and build that out, right? For instance, let's say, I mentioned Battlescape as our first module. Let's say that the community said, we want a module that does this. Who's going to go ahead and build that, right? The DAO itself decided that they wanted to go and build it, but like I said, it still falls on the dev team to actually go ahead and conduct that work. But yeah, that's kind of what the DAO is. The DAO-like structure is to us, is that we're going to be listening to the community and doing, everything in our best intention to follow what the community wants, right? And as we kind of build up and kind of automate more things as we move along, then more and more tasks will be kind of given to the people to decide exactly how it goes, and have it automated to the point where we can step back and don't have to do a certain thing, where it can automatically change certain aspects. Like for instance, let's say that on Battlescape right now we have the 2% pool profits that go back into the treasury. Let's say the DAO decided that they want it to be 4%, for instance, and everyone voted on that. Right now it's not an automatic task. We would have to go and modify it, but in the future that would be something where the DAO can just vote on tomorrow, and then as soon as it's passed, it'll automatically update our smart contract and change that value. So that's kind of what it is, and I hope I answered your question.
That's a great explanation. Thank you. A little bit too much IQ for me, but yeah, good stuff. No, absolutely. I completely understood that. And a lot of it's again, the crypto space is so new. People have so many questions about certain aspects of crypto and how projects go about things and stuff like that. So it's great to hear your side of things and how you guys approach those features and stuff like that. So that's cool. Are we able to move on from this graph here?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, if you want to kind of scroll down.
Perfect. So now we're on your roadmap already.
That's right.
I don't want you to have to go line by line because you do have tons of stuff that's planned, and mostly all of it is gonna come at some point, because you're building all those the releases of the apps and the games and stuff like that. So that's gonna eventually come in the future. But if you can kind of highlight what can we expect from Encounter in the next few weeks, few months, and what's gonna come down the pipeline. Yeah,
for sure. So as you kind of scrolled there at the beginning of the roadmap. Our launch is May 16th. So right now we are going through our, you can actually hop in on the whitelist if you actually just go to our site at the tab, the purple tab right up there next to company where it says whitelist, and it's also on the front page. You can go ahead and hop in on that. We have a Gleam competition here, but what I do want you to know is that it's a guaranteed position in the pre-sale. So as long as you fill that out, at least one of those tasks, you will be in the whitelist. So we didn't want to do it to where no one gets anything by doing it. As long as you complete something there, you're going to be eligible, and you're going to be on the whitelist for the pre-sale on the 16th. So we are launching on Ethereum first. That's kind of and the reason why I say first is because of another aspect. If you see there on the bottom, we say Ethereum and Polygon. So Encounter is going to be launching on Ethereum, and that's kind of going to be Encounter's home, I would say. But when we release our modules, the utility aspects of Encounter, those are all going to be deployed on Polygon. So we're going to have this Ethereum is where the token lives. Polygon is where you use all the applications that we create. And we're going to be deploying our coin onto Polygon. So, you'll be able to use Encounter on Ethereum and Polygon once we get to that point. But we are going to be a cross-chain token.
So
Polygons are
does this work like a bridge, or is it something kind of different that you're doing?
so yeah, it will be bridged. We're going to be using multi-chain. Maybe people have heard of that before. But that's the bridge we're using to bring over Encounter to Polygon. And
Perfect.
the reason why we chose Ethereum to start off with is because you know, it's the most secure network out there. It's been around for a long time. You know, if you look at the DeFi space as a whole, the total value locked and all these protocols, etc., all of it lives on Ethereum. It starts on Ethereum. All the the big projects start on Ethereum, and we're we're a fully doxed team. We are we're in it for the long run, the long haul, and we're putting in, we have a great team who's putting in all our expertise into this, and we want to launch on a network that is, that kind of shows that as well, which is why we chose Ethereum.
Beautiful. And I think, and I think Ethereum also has, and again, I'm generalizing here, but more serious projects, more serious investors,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah. And that's
people
kind of,
that are, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is a very serious project, and therefore we want to be in
Yeah,
a place where people, people see that.
absolutely. And people that, people that put their money in Ethereum, they tend to hold more than people in BSC and stuff. Just because you're not there for quick in and out, you're there for the long run, and especially with the gas fees, you want to kind of be in great profit before you take any kind of before you sell any kind of tokens, right? So definitely something that's a little bit more safe for projects, right? When it comes to keeping a nice chart.
Hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's kind of the the first thing on our roadmap there.
Beautiful.
And then after that, I mentioned before Battlescape. So what is Battlescape? This is our first module. So it's going to launch as a module on the Encounter app. And what you'll be able to do with Battlescape is you'll be able to place bets on pro esports matches. It's going to be a pool-based betting system, the same way as, let's say you go to Uniswap or PancakeSwap and you're kind of buying a token. It's going to be in a very similar and easy to use format. The one thing that we've noticed on the team here is that, when you go to these esports betting sites or just betting in general, a lot of it's confusing, shady, and just, it just puts like a bad taste in your mouth. And, there are, at least for me, when I go onto an esports betting site or something, I see all the ratios and these, there's so many numbers on the screen, you don't really know where to start. And what Battlescape does, it simplifies all of that. You have, let's say that you have this particular esports game that's going on, and you see your favorite team is playing. You want to hop in, you want to go on Encounter, connect your wallet, pick the match, place your bet, come back and see if you won, right? Simplifying
Yeah.
that entire process. That's really what Battlescape is all about, and why we chose to create that as our first module, because it really, Encounter is merging those two spaces, DeFi and GameFi. So it's speaking to that kind of gaming community there as well. And as I mentioned before, Battlescape will have there'll be a percentage that the Encounter protocol earns from the pools, and that'll funnel back into the treasury, paying out all the people who are staking Encounter.
Beauty.
So that's the first module. And then I'm going to talk about the second module, and I'll probably go skip to something else, and we'll kind of get away from the roadmap for a bit. But Arsenal is probably my favorite module. I'm really excited for this one. What it's going to do is, think of, all these play-to-earn games that are out there. what if you can make, the current AAA games that are out there, CS:GO, League of Legends, Apex Legends, etc. What if you can make those games play to earn? And that's really what Arsenal is going to be able to bring you. You're going to be able to go into Arsenal, hop in a match, complete these cool achievements that we're building. Like we're going to build out a really great achievement tree where you can hop in and you can kind of see how you're progressing in certain areas, make it really fun and a little more gamified than normal. And you'll be able to earn rewards such as NFTs and encounter tokens on it, on doing these, completing these achievements. So, and I think that's something that I haven't personally seen out there, especially with our achievement system, and kind of what we like to call a Web3 battle pass. All you need to do is plug in or connect your wallet, stake some encounter, and start earning rewards and hop in on Arsenal. So it's going to really, have people just, they're already playing those games. Now they can just start earning while playing those games that they're already playing. And
Awesome.
Arsenal is first going to be for those games, as I mentioned, those kind of like big games that are really popular out there. But then as Arsenal does progress, we're going to be looking into blockchain games. So I know the blockchain gaming space is still, it's in its infancy. But as it kind of grows and gets bigger, we want to partner up with those companies that are building those games on, Polygon, BSC, Avalanche, etc., and allow you to, earn money playing those blockchain games rather than just the AAA games, as I mentioned.
Awesome. And can you explain a little bit Web3 for people that are not familiar yet?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Do you mind explaining a little bit the Web3 aspect, if for people that don't know Web3 yet?
Oh, for Web3, yeah. I mean, so the Web3 is kind of a term for a future of using crypto on the internet, right? That's kind of an umbrella term of the web. That's why we call it Web3. It's it's a popular term that's kind of out there already in the social space.
Right. A lot of people, projects are using it now, and I'm not sure everybody's familiar with it. So.
Right. Yeah, it's just kind of like, if you look at the evolution of the internet, web, the current internet that we're all using right now is considered Web 2.0, right? And now with crypto and DeFi and all that, all that encapsulated, that's kind of what we consider Web 3, where now all your applications and everything you're doing are on these blockchain networks. That's kind
Perfect.
of
Perfect. Oh, that's a good one. I mean, I can't put it any better. So that's a good one. Perfect. Thank you. So
yeah,
that
no problem.
seems that sounds super cool, man. And you guys are building. I'm sure you guys are already working on Battlescape and Arsenal already.
That's right.
Yeah.
Battlescape is it's currently it's currently in the works, and Arsenal is kind of really as we kind of put it up there, Q4 of this year, but Battlescape will be released after we launch.
Beautiful. I think I personally can't wait to see some teasers, some previews of those when they're available.
Yeah,
It seems
definitely.
super cool. Already, this guy is he's getting me. Yeah. I'm what do you call it? I'm in suspense right now. No, super cool, man. I think you guys are really putting in the work. You're not building just another project here. You're building something that's gonna and for me, I think the most important for you is to reward the holders, right? The whole aspect of your project.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think from what I take in regards of the game, staking, bonding, all those things is just give back to the holders.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, from the very beginning, I think John mentioned when he kind of gave his little introduction that,
Yeah,
we've always been about, you know, just being totally transparent with what we're doing here. And, in the vision of crypto, which I don't take very lightly. Um, I believe that, crypto is the space where everyone kind of wants to come together and build something together and, you know, earn, being able to earn for doing so, right? I mean, isn't that kind of what crypto is all about when you kind of think about it? It's kind of like,
absolutely.
full decentralization. Everyone wants to be able to build things together and come together to earn money or you know, enjoy community together, etc. Right? So
Yeah,
that's kind of our biggest thing is that whatever we do, whatever we build, we want it to always be around, you know, giving back to the holders and the stakers, as you mentioned. And that's really with the whole revenue sharing protocol aspect, as we discussed, before, that's really how we're going to be able to do it.
beautiful, and that's a beautiful segue to probably the next thing I want to discuss, and you know, everything kind of in a project has to uh match. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like from utility to roadmap and then tokenomics, of course, right? Because you need good tokenomics, you need a good flow of income in order to have your project, be there for the long run, have enough funds, how you're gonna manage those funds. So can we look a little bit at your tokenomics if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure. Um,
Awesome.
so
So I don't see them here. Maybe they're in your white paper.
so the tokenomics, if you kind of want to go back up to that to that chart, the revenue sharing model.
Oh, sure, yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. So maybe when people consider tokenomics, they think of like taxes, right? Well,
Exactly.
Encounter doesn't have any taxes, right? There's going to be no
Oh,
taxes. You don't, yeah, yeah.
okay.
This isn't like a, you purchase Encounter and then there's like a 25% tax that goes here or there or there, all right? And that's kind of why it's important that we build out this foundation, with the bonding, for instance. The bonding is really what allows us to, I guess, start with. You could consider bonding a tax, but it's not a tax that's imposed on the user. So think of it this way, this is great. I'll actually go ahead and kind of clarify on bonding.
Yeah, and I'm
When
sorry if I missed that part. Well, I guess I didn't miss it. We just
Yeah,
didn't discuss it, so
no,
it's kind of new
no
to me.
worries.
Okay.
All good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about tokenomics. So when you go and purchase Encounter, as I mentioned, there's two ways you can do so. You can either buy it on the open market, such as Uniswap, SushiSwap, etc., or and that's really where most people will buy it. Or you can buy it through our site through a bond. Right now, bonds aren't going to be something that will always be available. Right, it's going to be available based on how we're monitoring the treasury, how we're monitoring liquidity. That's when we're going to issue out a new bond, depending on how that, you know, how all that looks. So as you probably know, you know, most tokens, I guess, impose some sort of tax model where, let's say, there's a 10% tax on every purchase and sell, and for example, 5% of that goes to liquidity pools. 5% of that goes to maybe as reflections or something. Um, and that's not how Encounter works. There are no taxes. All right, you can trade, you can buy whatever, no taxes. All right. Um, reason One of the reasons why there aren't any taxes is because this model is going to sustain it without those. The other thing is that I personally hate taxes, and I think taxes are. I mean, who wants to go and buy a token and then immediately you're like down 20%, right? I don't know
Yeah,
about you, but it doesn't sound very enticing for me at least. And it really
right.
it's an issue when you're also trading it, right? When you trade it, or when you send it to someone, you have to pay a tax just to send tokens. That's kind of annoying. Um,
Yeah,
and that's really how we can, why we can be multi-chain as well, because we don't have to worry about that tax system. So, as I mentioned, you have two options. You can either buy ENCTR on a decentralized exchange, or you can buy it through a bond. Now, if you buy it through a bond, you're going to get a discount. And we have multiple types of bonds. For instance, we have an LP bond, or a single bond. A single bond is basically you just giving us, a token, and then we're going to give you ENCTR. The other kind of bond, an LP bond, is that we ask the user to go and create an LP token or liquidity pair token on a decentralized exchange, and then come and give us that token, give us that liquidity token, and in turn, we're going to give you a discount on ENCTR. Now, why are we doing this? We're doing this because it allows us to build our liquidity pool as we continue to grow, right? And it without taxes, right? You don't have to use a tax to build out your liquidity pool, because now people are incentivized to just give us liquidity for a discount on your ENCTR token. And when you do so, like I said, it puts liquidity into the protocol, and then it also funnels some of that extra money into the treasury to go back to the stakers. So
beautiful.
that's kind of the I guess the immediate layer about bonding. And now that's how we're different, because that concept in itself isn't new. How ENCTR is different is that we're building on top of it. And that's where these modules come in. That's where Battlescape, Arsenal, Legions come in, right? Because now we're not just making money from bonding, at least the treasury isn't. We're now making money from bonding and the modules we're creating, right? And now all those kind of go hand in hand and funnel money back into treasury to give to the stakeholders, right? We're
Right,
creating revenue from actual utility and then giving it
right.
back to the stakers. And that's
Uh,
really what the difference of ENCTR is, where a lot of projects aren't doing that. They're not creating something of value that you use daily. Like, if you want to use Arsenal for earning rewards and playing games, you can do that without, you don't have to care about ENCTR to do that, right? But the money we generate from that utility, these utility aspects in the gaming space, all goes back into ENCTR. So that's kind of why I say this merging between DeFi and GameFi, because it really gives both sides something to enjoy, right? The DeFi crypto people, they have the bonding and the staking, the treasury, right? The DeFi stuff that gets them excited. Then you have the gamers, the people who are interested in esports betting and Arsenal to play their games and earn rewards. They get excited about those things. So both of those combined puts all the puts money back in the treasury and back to the stakers.
Absolutely, and as we mentioned, like the primary goal is to reward the holders, and like you said, you're rewarding them in different ways also. So that's pretty cool to me, and the way you found to uh you know profit from the actual utility, which is something that projects are doing it, but I mean they're not just profiting from utility. They're gonna have those taxes in place also to get more money, more liquidity for marketing and those things. But the fact that you're only going with profiting from the actual utility, I think is pretty unique, and I think people are gonna really like this. Um,
Sorry, I just want to
but
say one
also,
thing from what
yeah,
you mentioned. Um, Yeah, we don't have to do the tax system because the bonding aspect in itself is mimicking what the tax-based system is
e-
doing. It's just a
exactly,
better system, in my opinion, because you're not losing money on day one from buying the token, losing 20%. you're now getting a discount actually. So
Yes, exactly.
it's kind of a better model for that, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so, during the AMAs, I like to just have, an open discussion, and I like to
Absolutely,
pick
yeah.
the brain. I like to pick the brain of the project owners and stuff like that. The last project I was in had no tax, in terms of like buy and sell. Um, the thing that I could notice a lot is, blogs getting in and out nonstop, right? Buying like crazy amount of money and then selling a second later. Either they're losing money or they're making a few bucks or something like that. But that would be like continuous nonstop, and it would create a lot of you know a lot of action on the charts, a lot of movement. Is this something that's gonna happen with the encounter, since there's no actual tax system?
So, I mean, that's a good question. I would say, look at other tokens, right? Look at other tokens, the big tokens that don't have taxes, right? Look at any
Yeah.
top 100 token on the charts,
Yes.
none of those have taxes, right? And they're still doing fine, sustaining themselves. So I don't think taxes really, yeah, of course they kind of maybe make it a little harder for someone to kind of go into a bot. They have to kind of change their numbers and see like, okay, if there's a 20% tax, then I need to like, wait until the the token dips 40% and then I can buy back in. But it's still, people still bought those projects, right?
Of course.
But the other thing is that because through our bonding system, because we're going to be owning all of our liquidity, we're actually going to, whenever you buy a token on a decentralized exchange, there's always a tax there. I think it's like, depending on the exchange, like for instance, PancakeSwap comes to mind. I think they do like 0.17% off every transaction. But with high enough volume, that's just quite a bit of money. And all of that, because we own the liquidity, all of that actually goes back to the Encounter treasury. So, if there is a lot of high volume, well, I mean, it's still going to be good for the protocol because a lot of that, because those transaction fees are actually funneling right back into the Encounter treasury. So, I don't see that as an issue.
Oh no, absolutely no, and I didn't see it as an issue. Also, I just wanted to know from your perspective, regarding this. So, um, perfect. And can you let me know if there's anything we didn't really touch base on yet, before we go to the funds that were raised so far and what you're planning for the launch and stuff like that?
Um, let's see. I think I may have covered them. Oh, actually, you know what? No, there is one thing I wanted to cover last.
Sure.
So, um, we we as a team, we've started working on our own NFT project. That's kind of part of the Encounter system. We call it Protocol 5129. And what this NFT is, first of all, it's going to give you guaranteed access to the presale. Guaranteed whitelist position to the presale. The other thing is that it's really going to be the beginning of this kind of story that we're building at Encounter. Um, as you kind of follow the project and move along with it, um, we started noticing that and obviously this is the story here, that there is this something's messing with our code, some messing with the way that we're when we're working on projects, some entity or something is kind of getting in the way, and we need the community's help to kind of solve this puzzle and project. So as you kind of move along with us and you hold this NFT, you get access to special rewards, and you'll be able to help us kind of solve that mystery that we're all kind of thinking about and trying to figure out what's really going on. So that NFT is it's on Polygon. You can hear more about it if you join our Discord and Telegram. And yeah, if you do purchase that NFT, like I said, you get guaranteed whitelist. and then all the funds that we generate actually go back into the treasury. So it's going to go back to holders anyway. We're not keeping any of that at all. It's literally for the treasury and project. So hope you guys check that out as well. Yeah, I see you have
That sounds
the video here. Yeah, definitely go out if you're all here. Go on our website, watch the trailer. It's really great. JP, created this kind of launch video. I think it kind of gets people a little excited about what's to come and just the
yeah, good
project in
job,
general.
JP. It's a very cool video. Very nice.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Very nice, man.
Yeah. I try to, like I said, coming from the sort of like, gaming space and things like that, and looking at all the, the top dogs, like, all these game development studios, people get excited over, I think just, really, really engaging content like that. So, I do all things from like 3D modeling and motion design and things like that. And that's where I, try to sort of take it to the next level, at least with our content, is creating those, sort of like cinematic pieces every now and then, and really start building upon, the brand itself. So if you guys want to check the video out, yeah, it's on the website and it's on our YouTube, and, we'll drop all our socials, when we're done here, make sure everyone, knows where they're going and things like that. So.
Absolutely, and you did a fantastic job, and especially for a gaming token, right? People will be, kind of expecting some content, and you guys are already delivering even before the launch. So, very cool to see, and I think it's a very, very cool teaser to for people to know what you guys are about. So cool stuff, JP. Thank you.
That means a lot. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Of course, man. Luka, so just want to know now, did you guys have a private sale? Are you gonna have a pre-sale or just the launch? I think you're just having the launch, but can you just tell me a little bit about like the funds that were raised so far for the
Sure.
project?
Yeah, so we did have a small private funding round, amongst ourselves and friends and family and a few other people who are in the crypto space. But mostly it's really for we've kind of opened up the pre-sale to everyone. In the vision of ENCTR, we want it to really be a community token where the community kind of owns owns most of the tokens. So when it, and I can explain it here. We're actually going to have a little blog post about this either today or tomorrow. So take a look out for that. But I'll briefly mention it here. We have something we call p-ENCTR, all right, which we call pre-sale encounter, or rather private encounter, and that is what was sold in the private sale. And the way it works is that it's kind of like an option where the team doesn't hold any encounter tokens, but we hold p-ENCTR. And what the team can do is that once we reach certain milestones, and as the token grows, because by the way, I maybe didn't mention it during the tokenomics, we're not a static. We don't have a static or total circling supply. It fluctuates based on how many people are staking it, how much money's in the treasury, and how many new tokens are being generated. Because with every encounter token that is created, it has to be backed by a stable coin. All right. Mm-hmm. So when you purchase one encounter, you know that one encounter is actually backed by a stable coin. So the price of encounter can never really go below $1 because of that reason.
Right.
So what with p-ENCTR, that's the encounter that was given to the team. So rather than the team, teams would usually take, let's say, 20% of all the tokens that are going to be released on a vesting schedule. With p-ENCTR is a vested token where we can only, like the team cannot have more than a total circulating supply at that very moment. So it really incentivizes that the team, builds out the roadmap and kind of delivers on what we're doing, because otherwise we actually can't convert our P-Encounter into Encounter. So the way we structured it is really, I'm glad we did it that way, because like I said, it incentivizes that we're building what the community wants and delivering on a roadmap and all those things there, so that we actually can't go ahead and come and just be like, oh, okay, the developers are now going to dump on the project, for instance. Like, we're not able to do that because of the system that we built. And that's
Absolutely.
kind of what this P-Encounter allowed us to do by not letting us, no matter what we wanted to do, we're not able to do so. And that's really what I like about it as well. So there can't be any bad actor be like, oh, you know what, developers just dumped all their tokens on the project.
Right.
We
Right.
literally can't. We literally
That's good.
can't. I mean, the smart contract doesn't allow us to. So
Very nice. There's a lot of things you're doing differently. I mean, for people to really understand, the steps you took to protect investors and to benefit
mhm.
investors as well. Everything is well described, I think, on your website and on your light paper. But I hope investors are gonna go through, that documentation and stuff to understand like how much
Yeah.
encounter is gonna be, because obviously people don't read, and they sometimes they don't even check pin messages and stuff like that. But do you kind of have an approach to really make, because you're launching on the 16th, do you kind of
hmm
have an approach to really make people understand how much is being done for the investors, and how much um, the steps that you took, in general, just to make sure that this is a successful launch, a successful long-term project? Are you guys like gonna kind of do AMAs on your channel and stuff like that? I know right now well, we're on an AMA, and you guys are going to talk to communities and stuff like that. But really, within your community, do people understand how much you guys are doing here?
Yeah. No, definitely. We are always, if you look, I think you actually clicked on our news tab there. But we're always, coming out with new content and articles for people to kind of read and learn about exactly how Encounter works, what we're doing. As you can see, we wrote, posts on, what is wrapping, what is bonding, what is staking, these types of things. Constantly, releasing this content so that, people who are even new to the crypto space can come in and really figure out, what's really going on here and how it all works. So yeah, absolutely. And we're actually going to be having on Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to be having internal AMAs. If you join our Discord and Telegram, we'll be speaking there. Also on Twitter. So we're going to be opening kind of the floor for everyone to kind of, hop in and really ask us more personal questions, maybe ones that we didn't touch up on the AMA here. Yeah, but we're going to be releasing content where, we're really going to be exactly talking about how it works for those people who want to kind of learn and figure out exactly how, how Encounter is going to be moving forward. And I think that's
Beautiful.
important. We always want to be very, as I mentioned, the reason why we're everything we do has always been about, transparency and giving people exactly, how everything works, right? Because, we want to bring people something where, they can come and join a long-term project that is truly that, right? Because, I've seen many projects, come along, and I've always been frustrated personally about some of them because, maybe they weren't as open about things, or you couldn't really figure out what exactly was going on. But, it's always been my goal, at least, to, if someone asks me like a very hard question or something, I'll tell you, very straight up exactly how it works and what it is. And, I'm always open to any type of question that you want to ask me about how certain things work, and I like I said, I really hope that people come in and ask us these questions. We don't mind. We love answering them. So yeah, we're always going to be here for any of that if you need more information
Absolutely.
on how things work. But like I said, we're going to do our best to do it through our blog posts here and through Twitter and through the videos that we'll be making over the coming weeks, things like that.
Awesome. That's great. And I shared your Telegram, and I pinned it. So please, everyone, feel free to join. Uh, Again, go through the light paper, go through the website, ask questions. Luka has an awesome team around that are willing to take the time and answer everybody's questions if you have some. Um, Luka, this is honestly very, very cool concept. You guys, it seems that I don't know how many discussions and how many meetings you had to figure everything out, but it seems like you know what you're doing, and you found new ways to attract people and really take care of investors. So I commend you on that, and I hope you're more excited about the launch than stressed, because obviously this is a lot of work put in. So I think this will be a fantastic long-term project. I can't wait to see the updates. I can't wait to see the teasers and stuff like that will be coming in the next few months, few weeks. Is there anything else that we didn't go through that you wanted to touch base on?
No, I think that was it.
Was it?
If we,
Okay.
yeah, if, and I don't know if what you were planning to do afterwards, but it was probably going to be something where we open the floor to questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
Is that okay? Yeah. So,
Yeah, let's
guys,
do
if
it.
you have any questions for the Encounter team, please unmute yourself or raise your hand. Ian, did you have something, buddy?
No, not really. I think you've covered over everything. I mean, I just wanna say it looks a brilliant project, and I'm gonna be looking closer at it. I had a nice little listen to it. First day I made it, I've listened to it in a while, Booyah, I think you covered quite a lot, I think if I've got any other questions or like that, I'll jump over to the chat. Is the Telegram in the palace so
Yeah,
we can get it
it's
from there?
it's pinned on the group. Yes.
Cool. So yeah, I'm gonna jump over. Like I say, it's my first one back. I have listened to a couple, but it's a good first project to come back and listen to. Well done, guys. I like it a lot. Some of the graphics as well you've got going on there is really cool. So yeah,
Thanks,
thanks,
appreciate it.
guys. No problem.
Uh, we had Jamal. Jamal had his hand raised. Cannot find him anymore. One second. Uh, Jamal, you're unmuted. If you had a question. Jamal, please unmute your mic if you had a question. All right. Perfect. Anybody else? Please raise your hand so I can unmute you if you have any questions. Rosaline has a question. One second. Hi, Rosaline. How are you? Rosaline, you're unmuted. If you have a question, you can unmute your mic.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Rosaline. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Great presentation, and I think I enjoyed it. I love the presentation. But my fear, from our experience from the past is programs like this, laudable programs like this, they start very well. But shortly thereafter, you find many of them, you don't find them again, and your investment is gone. How am I sure? Or what are you really doing? What are you putting in place to ensure sustainability of this program by the time it launches? I don't know if you get my question.
Yeah, Luca, I think she's under. She's asking, how, if she puts her money in, how can she guarantee that, her money is safe and that she can benefit from this project?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, look at the crypto space. I mean, I wish I could. I personally wish I could. I can't guarantee you anything. I can't guarantee you anything because look, the crypto space is always going to be volatile. You never know what's going to go on. Like if you buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, right, it could go down 20% tomorrow. I have no control over that, right? So I can't promise you about the price or anything pricing, right? But what I can promise you is that what we're doing and what we're building and how we're building it is going to be is going to be there and be done based on how I described it with like the revenue sharing, et cetera, right? Like if you, you know, if you stake and counter and, when we built out Battlescape and we're utilizing these DeFi protocols to generate more revenue into the system, we are doing what we can to put that back in, right? It's like, for instance, think of it as a company, right? We're building a product here, which will generate revenue to go back to the treasury and in turn go back to the token holders. There are companies out there that have, created products that people don't use anymore, right? Just because they haven't, or et cetera. But so, like I said, I can't give you a guarantee on anything except of what we're doing here. This isn't like a bank and you put in $20 and then by the end of the year, you get that 1% savings rate, right? Since it's crypto, it's all very volatile. But like I said, we're doing everything we can to make the model sustainable and to generate revenue back into the system.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Does that answer your question, Rosaline?
Yes, thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you for being here. Any more questions, guys? Please raise your hand or unmute yourself. Once again, the team is ready to answer any question if something comes up. The Telegram link is pinned to the channel. So if nobody else has any question, I think we can let Luka and his team go back to work. Luka, it's been fantastic. Thank you, GP. Thank you, Aaron. You guys are doing something absolutely awesome. I'm here. Whatever you guys need from me, we'll have you pinned. Any update you have, please come share it. We'll pin it for you. You're welcome back for another AMA on the house if you would like at any point. Once you have a big update to share or after the launch or something like that, I'll welcome you back on the house whenever you guys would like. So that's my promise to you guys.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, really appreciate it. One quick thing before we go. We do have some NFTs that we would like to give away to the people who are listening. Do you have something ready in place for kind of like a random giveaway on your channel?
I
to where we
do,
can select
but
to a certain amount of people.
There's 140 people on here right now, so I did take some screenshots, so I can probably turn the wheel afterwards and announce the winners. Would that be okay with you, Luka?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, because right now writing all the names and spinning the wheel, is gonna be a little bit intense, and I don't want to keep you too long.
For sure.
So I'll do that. I'll do that. As soon as we're done. I have the list. I have the names here. All screenshots, and we can do that definitely. And that's super generous of you. I really appreciate it, Luka. That's nice of you, pal.
Yeah, no problem. No, I just want to say, thank you everyone for really, coming out and taking a listen to me and my team about this. If you're interested in the project, we'd love to have you. Come join our Telegram or Discord. Follow us on Twitter. Yeah, and hope to see you on the 16th there. As always, we feel free to ask any questions to me or my team, even after the AMA ends. We're always there in chat, so yeah, feel free to reach out at any time.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank you
much.
guys. It's an awesome
Thank you,
community.
GP.
So thank you for having us.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks, GP. Thanks, Luka. Thanks, Aaron. Again, whatever you guys need from me, I'm here. We'll remind people about the launch. The day before and on launch day. Make sure everybody's there. And yeah, we're here to support you guys.
That's awesome, and looking forward to it.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day.
Have a great day. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Take care.